Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us for Access City Council. I'm your host, City of Las Vegas Communications Director David Riggleman. Coming up on this show, we'll tell you about a new children's book written about our city's Department of Public Safety. And we have an important discussion on how to increase the safety of our children. Here to discuss these topics and much more is our Ward 4 Councilwoman, Frances Allen-Palenske. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, David.
How are you?
Love being here.
Are you surviving the heat out there? It's been summer. Yeah, it's hot. We're going to talk about, we have some special guests on today. We also have upcoming events we want to tell everybody about out there that you've got coming in the ward.
Good stuff.
But if you're not exactly sure where Ward 4 is located, well, don't worry, because we're going to show you right on the map. It's the area that you represent.
Yay.
Basically the northwest area of the city, kind of west of US 95, north of the Summerlin Parkway. Actually, you got an area that extends all the way up there. Geez Louise, all the way up to Elkhorn. Yeah, Farm Road, way up there. If you live in that area, work in that area, then you are in the city limits of the city of Las Vegas. And if you're a resident out there, you have been represented on the city council since December by Frances Allen-Palenske.
Yes, sir.
You don't seem like a newcomer to me anymore. You seem like you've been an old pro at this for a while, so you're obviously getting the hang of the job.
I do nighttime reading.
Yes, you do. You work very hard. Well, excited today. We've got a great topic. Today we're joined by Jason Potts, our Department of Public Safety Chief, and author Andre Lewis to discuss a new book about the department targeted especially, Councilwoman, to third graders.
Kids.
Jason Potts, Chief Potts, welcome aboard. Author Andre Lewis, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah,
we're honored to have you both. And Councilwoman, I know this is exciting. This book is really, it's kind of taken off already to some degree.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we hope to get more books and have them out in the community in a prolific manner.
Yeah. Jason, tell everyone out there, what is the book about? What's the purpose of the book, and what was the inspiration for it?
So first off, thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here. Thank you, Councilwoman Allen-Palenske and Dave, and we have the author here, Andre. So this is our book. It's Making It Better in Las Vegas. It's a children's hard copy book. We've purchased 1,000 of these, and so it talks about a story of two officers, one being Officer Washington, but Officer Nickerson, he gets a Police Activities League community cleanup going, arranges that, and interacts with these two children to clean up a park. And what resonates with me is I was inspired to be a police officer through the Police Activities League as a child. And then, of course, you all know that we're rooted as park rangers, so we patrol our 83 parks. Yes. So this really hits home for me, and it's really just going to be a great story about safety tips, about engaging with the community, engaging with our police officers, and showing that our police officers are approachable.
And I think that's really the main gist, Councilwoman, is right.
There's a story behind this.
People behind the badge are people, not something to be feared or deified or mystified or anything that any of those fides that go with it.
Yes.
They're people that are out trying to protect the community.
And there's a personal story every time we read this book. We sign it, we give us an inspirational quote to them and that kind of thing. And we've already read this book and provided 100 books to the Ernest J. May Elementary School. And so Ernest J. May, it was special about that. He was our first police officer killed in the line of duty, June 8th, 1933.
Wow.
And so that was special. And the mascot at Ernest J. May is a marshal. He was a prior U.S. Marshal. So it was very special for us to do that the first day. We actually had Andre there on May 5th of this year, and it was special. I mean, Andre could probably attest to that. He had made some comments about it as well.
Glad to have Andre here. He's like a celebrity author, folks, because I didn't realize this, but Councilman, he's written something like 25 children's books?
26 books come out this August, and like I said, Chief Potts was absolutely correct. I came out for the May 5th event, and it was absolutely amazing, seeing all the different officers and different departments coming together to share what they do in the community and having that opportunity to improve the relationship between law enforcement and the children.
Tell us how you got involved in children's books like this, Andre.
I used to speak for nonprofit organizations for almost 20 years, and primarily to high school students to achieve their dreams with academic excellence. But I realized we weren't helping many children. So speaking with a psychologist, he realized that I had to go back to earlier, to elementary, to plant the seed. So with that, I realized I can customize a book, put the morals and values encoded into the book, and then give the book as a tangible object to remember the message. And then as I started doing those books on my own, organizations started seeing that need that I could do books for them. So this particular book was done initially in 2013 for Casper, Wyoming. So the police chief there saw what we had done with our bullying book and was like, hey, Andre, can you do us a favor? Can you write a book to help my officers go into the schools with a positive message, to give the kids something they can see and understand what we do and how we're there to help them.
And of course, this version is specific to our marshals here in Las Vegas.
That's what I do for cities. I actually tailor make the book to make sure it looks like the community that it's to serve. And you can see from the uniforms, the cars, and everything else, it has the actual depiction of
Las
the
Vegas.
uniforms. So it's personalized. So when a child looks at it, they're like, that's us. I know this when we see it.
It's tailor-made. You see the Marshall vehicle, Marshall patch. Yeah, it's
same one.
really cool. It's
And,
the same exact patch that we're wearing.
The illustrations are great in this too. You teamed up with, tell us about the artist.
Oh gosh, and now you're gonna get me start crying. Her name is Sheila V. Dibbles. Sheila, I met her from art, she went to San Francisco Art Academy. She did like 7 books for me. She passed away at the age of 39.
Oh, no.
39.
Yeah, with cancer. So with that, she had a very unique style of illustration. If you look at it in detail, it's like crafted, and she brings in materials along with her illustrations. I mean, it's a wonderful work of art that we provide to our kids. So when our books are done, they're not cookie cutter. So each book is tailor-made and unique for the audience that we're giving it to.
Oh, that's great. Well, I'm sorry to hear that she's no longer with us, but her work is going to live on.
It lives on as a
Andrea.
blessing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because she's changed many lives through the use of her work, and we've, in fact, I mean, over many, some kids have access to our work.
So, Chief Potts, Councilwoman, if people are seeing this, it's like, well, I got a 3rd grader. I really would love to get a hold of one of those books. What's going to come next? How are we going to do this?
Yeah, thank you for that. So we purchased 1,000 books. We already handed out 100. And so, yeah, that's really unique. We're going to be giving these books to children. They're going to have this. I'm hopeful that they're going to have it for generations to come, and we're going to provide it in each school in their library. And so we're going to distribute this evenly throughout different wards. So the next ward is Ward 4. That's our hope, and we'll get that going. So as soon as we start the school year, we're going to be really nailing and going after it and really engaging with our kids. This isn't about a slogan. This isn't a either or. This is a both and. We do this. This is the DNA of what we do at the Department of Public Safety. We really want to engage with our kids.
So if you got a 3rd grader in the Clark County school system in the city of Las Vegas, don't worry. The books are going to be coming to you. That's the idea here. Yep. So you don't have to go looking for one. They should find you pretty well. So. Andre, what's next? What's your other project? You got anything else cooking out there?
We do. We have a book coming out this end of the summer called Life Tools. I was very fortunate to have some life coaching with me and to go into a life coaching seminar. And I looked at some of the mantras that I was learning at the age of 56. And I realized that what I could have been if I'd have known that as a teenager. So I want to help these students to see some of these values of things that they can help with their mindset. I'm going to give you one now. It's called Think, Feel, Action, Result. The way you think with a positive thought.
So true.
Brings out a positive feeling that leads to a positive action, that leads to a positive result. So we're going to put that in the book, and it's a 50-page graphic novel. So we're looking forward to releasing that at the end of the summer.
It's exciting stuff.
And he's got one also on financial literacy for
Yes,
kids. I mean, that's really missing in our schools today.
Exactly. And you talk about a legacy for the future if you get that right at an early age. Exactly right. So good stuff. I didn't know that, Councilwoman.
Yeah, well.
Thanks.
Chief Potts, we're about out of time, but I'll give you the final word. What else do you want to add?
No, we're just inspired by this. This book is going to be amazing for these kids. This is chicken soup for our soul. Our officers love doing this. We're starving for this kind of engagement. And this is really about us making us much more approachable as an authority figure. And it also signals to these children that, hey, they too can be police officers. In my previous life in Vallejo, California, I grew up there, and I told them I sat right in this elementary school, Dan Mini Elementary, and years ago, and you too can be a police officer, you too can be a captain or a chief someday. And so it really just it just personalizes this book for these children, and they're going to have it hopefully for a very long time, and we're their heroes. We're going to continue doing that.
In your case, it was prophetic, because that's exactly what you ended up doing.
It's a wonderful story.
Well, this is exciting. This is something, I've been at the city for a long time, and we've never really tried an approach like this to reach out to the young people. So this is unique, and Councilwoman, I'm glad we took time to talk about it on the program today. So
I'd love to highlight what we can do for our children.
Exactly. Well, along that theme, gentlemen, I want to thank you both for being here. Jason Potts, Andre Lewis, thank you so much for being with us. Councilwoman, in that theme, we need to take a short break, but when we return, Councilwoman Palenske and I will be joined, and we're going to discuss a way to increase the safety of our children with our special guest. It's Margarita Edwards, who's the Executive Director of Nevada Child Seekers. That's right after this.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. And she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you and we'll figure it out."
Welcome back, everyone. Joining us now is Margarita Edwards, the Executive Director of Nevada Child Seekers, to talk about how to keep your children safe. And Councilwoman, this is such a timely discussion. Margarita, first, welcome to the program. It's great to have you here.
Thank you for having us.
And Councilwoman, this fits perfectly with the theme that we heard from Andre and Jason about keeping our kids safe.
Number one priority.
Exactly, exactly. Margarita, we were saying, I've been in Las Vegas a long time. Nevada Child Seekers is a very well-known organization. We're familiar with how your organization will help find missing children, but it's so much more than that, isn't it?
It is. You know, no parent wants to ever think of their child going missing, and I understand that. I have 4 children. So we really work on finding the missing child, working with law enforcement, but we also work in the empowerment side, which is the prevention and education side. So the more parents, the more families, the more young people, K through 12th grade, all of our programs reach all ages, empower children to understand that if they're being lured or if they're in an unsafe situation, that there's things they should do. Like an example would be the little guys, we teach them how to shout out loud. So we tell them if anything makes you feel sad, scared, or confused, shout out loud. You know, that's your alarm. And you know, a trusted adult, you let them know what's going on. With the older kids, we empower them with tools on how to report online bullying, whether it's, you know, online or in person. Healthy relationships, and then also all of our kids get the self-empowerment, self-defense classes called RAD Kids, which is a national program that we offer for free here in Nevada.
Wow, that's very comprehensive. I mean, I think, like I say, I think we're all familiar with helping find missing children, but that's a great way
Next
to
level.
keep, exactly, that's the next level, and really taking it, boy, to the nth degree. Education for parents too. Are there resources for parents? And I think this is Councilwoman would like to really hit on those as well.
I've got some at home too that I just want to protect.
Those are always good tips for a mom and dad too. So
Of course. So we work on, you know, not just the child advocacy side. We really talk about to the parents about, hey, you know, we can prevent our children from going missing just as much as they can prevent themselves from engaging in an unsafe situation. So again, yes, all of our services are free. We work with the district, we work with the Department of Education, we work with the Attorney General's office, we partner with the Amber Alert Committee. So we really have some great, you know, agencies that support the mission to keep our kids safe. And again, it's all free. So if you're a parent and you're watching this and you really feel compelled to either help in a search or help educate and empower your family in your community, give us a call because we need all the volunteers we can take. It's great.
Sure. How do people find you, Margaret? What should they do if they're interested in getting involved one way or the other?
Well, I found Nevada Child Seekers on a Google search when I just moved here from California. So really, honestly, you could do that. NevadaChildSeekers.org, or you can just Google search, you know, how do I help Nevada Child Seekers, and all the volunteer links will pop right up. Or you could, you know, contact us 702-458-7009. That's our office number.
Sounds good. How are we doing? Councilwoman, one of the questions I think the people are asking here often is, how are we doing as a community? We hear that, you know, human trafficking is an issue in Las Vegas, perhaps more than in any other city around the world, or at least certainly in the United States. How are we doing? You're the expert on this. Is our community, how are we faring?
All right, well, in my eyes and in the family's eyes, we are, I believe, that one city that doesn't sweep this under the rug. We recognize it's a problem nationally. We're one hub. I mean, every single city is a hub, but child trafficking and human trafficking is in every city in America. So we do a great job at saying, hey, we know it's here and we're going to fight it. We're going to fight it as a community. You know, Councilwoman does a fantastic job saying we want to keep our kids safe, and you know, this is how we fight it. We don't hide it, and we acknowledge it. And I really want to thank every agency, law enforcement, FBI, the National Center for Missing Children. They all come together to protect our kids. And yeah, so don't come to Vegas if you plan on hurting kids, because we'll catch you.
That's right.
Yeah. And Councilwoman, I know that's such a priority for you, public safety, obviously, but especially as it relates to our kids.
Let me ask you, as a parent, that's over 45, I am not that well versed on the internet, and I can put all the Apple parental controls on my iPad. But my kids that grew up with the internet, they are smarter than me. Do you have any tips for parents to deal with
question.
that?
To navigate that?
Internet luring is real.
Yeah. So social media is the platforms that they use. I can name drop any, I could say it's Facebook, it's Snapchat. Well, it's just plain social media. And any app that's on a device. So what I just encourage parents is to, Life 360 is a great app. It's free. It actually monitors your child's location. It tells you where they're at, or if they're driving, at that driving age, if they're speeding, that kind of thing. So even those little things are good to know. Like, okay, son, you need to slow down. So empower our parents with information. So again, there's great apps that can monitor our kids, but at the end of the day, a parent sitting down and talking to their child is the one thing that works 100% of the time.
The best weapon.
You can monitor your babies all day long on social media, but if you're not having conversations with them, if you're not talking to them, if you're not saying, hey, I heard this, this news story about maybe a 13-year-old was lured, what do you think about that? And that child's age appropriate, maybe a 13-year-old girl or boy, and it's like, oh, yeah, mom, I saw that. You have to have conversations with your kids. When they know they can talk to you, it changes the game.
Interesting. What about, and parents, as their kids become teenagers, sometimes those conversations become more difficult.
Oh, yeah.
Some tips and advice on how to maybe cut through those difficult conversations, or even to have them?
Yeah, so I understand, being a mom of four, once our children hit puberty, it's almost like you don't know who they are, and they feel like they don't know who we are.
Bring my little kid back.
You're like, where's the nice, sweet? And they're feeling the same way, like, no one understands me. In those moments, I like to just tell my teenagers, we're going to go up to Mount Charleston and we're just going to hang out. We're going to get off the devices. And in those conversations, and it may sound strange, but disengaging them from their devices is the biggest thing. It's not taking them away. Don't punish them because they're not being nice to you. Just naturally set a tone, set a day, and where you just listen.
Well, there's no
them.
Internet service.
No internet. But that's my advice, and that's what I've seen has worked, is the conversations, even when they're teenagers. And they're very smart. Again, they know how to maneuver these devices or turn off your monitoring. But at the end of the day, check to make sure that they know they can talk to you. You can always call us for prevention side of it. Like I don't think my teen's going to run away, but what would you guys offer anything? And usually we do. We'll have a youth empowerment. We have a festival coming up in November where they dance and we acknowledge young people who have volunteered with us, or we in some terms helped find when they ran away and they returned home and they received help. So it's just a really neat thing. And then also for our adults, if you wanted to volunteer or learn more, we have a volunteer search force training in September hosted by Metro. So there's a lot of resources. And again, if I didn't give you the answer you were looking for, please just contact us, because every situation is different. Every family dynamic is different, but never stop talking to your babies.
Yeah, and you've got the resources there to help no matter what the situation. That's great. Margarita Edwards, great discussion. Thanks so much for being here. Learned a lot. Knew what child seekers did in general, but learned a lot more, in fact. So that's
doing
good
God's
stuff.
work, for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Glad to have you on the show. And Councilwoman, you and I, we need to take another final break. But when we return, we're going to talk about some upcoming events you may want to put on your calendar. That's next. So please stay with us.
I dare you. I dare you to change the world. Yeah, you. Getting that college education.
I dare you to be somebody important.
Like be a teacher or a reality TV star.
I dare you to stand up here.
To call the shots.
To be a role model.
An inspiration.
An innovator.
To be a teacher.
Think you can change my life?
Make me excited about science like you.
Have a career that really means something?
Then do it.
I dare you.
Welcome back, everyone. Councilwoman has several events coming up that are going to take us from summer right into the fall. This is exciting. You got a lot going on here. It's that time of year, getting there. Splash back to school. Sorry, everybody who's got kids that are thinking it's like summer's going to go on forever, because this is the end is coming here. So.
It is almost, it's time to talk about back to school.
Yeah.
Our kids are getting ready. I know mine started the 9th. A lot of, I'm in charter. My kids are in charter, and the public's
it's coming up
August. Correct.
But this is a lot of fun. It's a great way to help kids kind of get prepared. It's that Friday before. It's going to be August 4th from 5 to 7 at Durango Hills Y. And come on out. Yeah, it's swim, resources. You're going to have like things, giveaways, that kind of thing, get kids
engaged, getting ready to learn again. We've got some school supplies to pass out. So it'll be a fun time if you're in the Northwest. Bring your kid.
Yeah, nice final hurrah of summer before, back to the books and all of that.
Back to the hamster wheel.
And speaking of school, principal roundtable coming up. This is an opportunity for all the principals to meet with you and Councilwoman Bruni.
We're doing it together this year for the first time. It hasn't been done in 4 or 6 ever before. So for the first time, we're delving into the education realm, and we're looking forward to great participation. I think that the school principals probably aren't even aware of the wraparound services the city provides.
Yeah, this is really key. And that's the purpose of your discussion, right, Councilwoman, is to kind of help forge that partnership between the schools that are in the ward and the city. So,
education is everybody's job.
Right, exactly. So that principal roundtable is going to be Thursday, August 24th. This is again, obviously, for the principals of the schools, elementary, high school, middle school, all of them.
Every single one of them,
from
private, charter, and public.
So 4 to 6. If you know a principal, if you are a principal, boy, we'd love to have you attend, and you live out in that area of town or work out in that area of town. We'd really love to have you participate. And then, Councilwoman, it's hard to believe that we're on the verge of getting to this, but with September is the big 9/11 event, Ward 4 out at Police Memorial Park, which of course is one of the mainstays in Ward 4.
Correct. Of course, 9/11, we lost police and firefighter more than anything else. Those folks, we honor them every year, and we will continue to do so at Police Memorial Park in the morning. It's open to the public. We love to have as much participation as possible. It's a solemn program. But for these young people, the next generation really doesn't know about 9/11 the way those that that we lived through it
it's hard
understand
to believe.
It's an entire generation.
Exactly. 2001 seems like yesterday to me, but obviously to a young person, it's sometimes they weren't even born yet.
Correct.
And so, hard to believe, but
just keeping that alive is
exactly. And Police Memorial Park, if you've never been out there, it's just a beautiful location, beautiful tribute to the officers that we've lost in the line of duty, and just the artwork, the sculptures out there, the monument. It's all very, very nice. And then, Councilwoman, speaking of public safety, you are going to have a town hall with Sheriff McMahill on September 12th, the next day, from 5:30 to 7:30, out near the Northwest Area Command, right?
Correct. The adjacency there is an auditorium directly north, so we'll be there. The sheriff is the most approachable guy
He's
in
a great man.
in modern history.
He really is. He cares about this community, very personable. Smart man. The community, I feel, is very lucky to have him, and he's very accessible. He makes himself available to the public to ask questions. And
you got a hard-hitting question, he doesn't shirk anything.
He doesn't.
There's no questions off the table.
Limits, exactly. I think too, he's trying very hard to forge that partnership between the community and the police,
which is so important, particularly in trying times, that everybody has faith in our police, and he is, the tip of the spear when it comes to that. So he's fostering those relationships, and we at the city are helping.
Yeah, and I think that goes a long way. It's one of the reasons our community maybe hasn't had some of the tension between the police and the community that we've seen in other areas of the city, other areas of the country.
We are grateful for that.
And Sheriff McMahill is doing a great job making sure that we keep it that way. And then, Councilwoman, you have a meet and greet at the Y coming up, meet and greet on September 15th. Now, what is this exactly?
Durango Hills. We go dark in the summer because the Y has so much summer school programming. There isn't room to accommodate us. But come September, we're back in business. We have a once-a-month meeting for residents of Ward 4 to come and talk about their concerns. Let us know what's important to them. And a lot of times, we are just the front lines. The issue might be something federal, and we'll refer to them to our federal representative. But everything, City Hall is Grand Central Station. Everything comes through City Hall, and we'll move you in the right direction. And a lot of times, we're actually the right place, and we'll help.
So very informal way to come in, talk with the Councilwoman. If you have questions, you have a concern, you don't have to come all the way down to City Hall. You're going to be able to do it right out at the Y there on Durango, and just have a conversation. So Usually in the morning, Councilwoman? That's where those take place? Yep. So September 15th, you want to come out, meet the Councilwoman, tell us what's going on in your neck of the woods. She's all ears.
That's right.
Okay. And then, Councilwoman, we need people's feedback, too. This is important. The La Madre Plan, tell everybody what that is and how they can give us their input if they're interested in telling us what that whole area of development is going to look like.
So if you're west of Providence, there's a big tract of undeveloped land in the far northwest, and that is the next up for master plan within our master plan, the city's 2050 master plan, to come up with a vision. And if you live in the area, or if you have strong feelings about what this area should look like, we've got a QR code, and we are open to everybody's opinions. Maybe you're a big biker and you want bike trails throughout, or perhaps walkability is your priority. Fill out the survey with the QR code and let us know what your priorities are there. We have some exciting ideas. I have some exciting ideas, but getting public input is critical in this process. So.
And Councilwoman, that area west of what we saw on the map is
the LM land right now.
Yeah, it's all vacant land ready to be developed. So what should go there? That's the question you're asking, and we want to hear from people. So, yeah. Deadline on that, Councilwoman? Is there a time for people to respond, or do they need to do this right away or anything like that?
Sooner the better, of course, as far as getting your voice heard. We are in the future going to hold some public meetings where, so it puts you in the loop, filling it out, puts your information in the.
So we're just getting started, in other words.
Correct,
Okay,
correct.
very
It's
good.
about a 1.5-year process to come up with that overall overarching plan, and I expect it to to be quite exciting.
It's exciting. That's literally a blank slate to get to draw
class
on.
in urban planning.
Yeah, right. Well, good for you for fostering the input from the community so people can weigh in and at least have their voices heard. Be interesting to hear what we get, hear from the public on all of that.
Yeah, popularity over the years has changed just on which sports they like to see in parks and whatnot. So hearing from the public makes us program all this much more effectively.
All right, good stuff. Well, Councilwoman, a great job. That was a lot of stuff coming up. So if you're
it was a busy time again.
wanting to find stuff in Ward 4 to do, there you go. That's your comprehensive list. Of course, we have this on the website too, the city's website. But great job. We want to tell everybody out there, we always want to hear from you. So if there's something you'd like to share with Councilwoman Palenske, you can find her on Facebook and Twitter. You can also pick up the phone, 702-229-6405, or send her an email. Her address is fpalenske@lasvegasnevada.gov, and she or one of her great staff will get back to you. And you don't have to wait to the town hall or whatever to come talk to her. You can send something now if you like.
We love hearing from people.
And your team, they jump right on it, whatever it is, as do you. And we try to solve those questions. So, all right.
That's what they hired us for.
Exactly. Well, Councilwoman, we'll have you back in 6 weeks with another update from Ward 4. It'll be here before we know it. And by that time, hopefully a little cooler. We'll be closer to the fall. Okay, I can't guarantee that. But we'll be heading right into the fall mode at that point. So I think it'll still be hot.
It transitions quick,
right.
fast. So.
Well, appreciate you being here today. Folks, don't miss our next show beginning on July 27th with Councilwoman Victoria Seaman. You can now catch all of our KCLV shows on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire. Also, watch for our QR code after this show to subscribe to our newsletter. And don't forget, you can watch us live on the internet at kclv.tv. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time around.